Okay, sir. Carry on.
So very good afternoon to one and all. My heartfelt thanks to Principal Sir for giving me this opportunity to organize this webinar. So today's topic is sorry, use of technology in education in National Education Policy 2020. Before I start my talk, I would like to quote two quotations given by two different persons. First one is given by Sidney Hook. Everyone who remembers his own education remembers teachers, not methods and techniques. The teacher is the heart of the education system. And the second quotation was given by George Couros. Technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers, it is transformational. With these two quotations, which tell us the importance of teacher and which also tell the importance of technology, how the technology can be utilized by the good teachers to transform the students' lives. With these introductory quotations, I will start my talk. So, New Education Policy 2020 was unveiled by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, and it is a revolutionary in every sense. And earlier education policy was framed in 1986. So after 1986, this NEP 2020 is the first omnibus policy. The importance given to education technology in this new education policy 2020 is welcome. It has to contend with multiple crises in the system. There are various crises in our education system, and everybody is hoping in the country that this new education policy will contend with those multiple crises, and a good output will come out of this new education policy 2020. We all know that there are reports that primary schools record poor literacy and numeracy outcomes, and dropouts in the middle and secondary schools are also significant. Our schools need a paradigm shift from low level of aspiration to have higher aspirations for all children indiscriminately. Translating this into reality invites stakeholders, teachers, education administrators, policymakers, and academic authorities at national and state level to come together to give children the best chance to succeed and contribute to nation building. While the policy focuses on multiple aspects, including the need for early childhood care, inclusive education, and revamping of the current curriculum, an inherent thread that runs throughout this policy, throughout this NEP 2020, is the interplay of education and technology. Section 23 of this NEP 2020, titled as Technology Use and Integration, puts forth a vision for the role technology will play in a new and improved education sector. It is a positive sign that India's policymakers are finally waking up to technology's disruptive implications for education. Realizing the potential of technology in education emphasizes securing digital infrastructure, developing digital skills, and promoting digital safety. It desires delegation of authority and active role of school management committees too. Over the last decade, India has transformed itself into an information-intensive society, and there is a growing requirement to embrace the use of technology in the field of education. In this regard, the policy notes that one of the central principles steering the education system will be the extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access, as well as education planning and management. In the current pandemic circumstances, with virtual learning replacing in-person learning experiences, students and teachers have been compelled to reimagine conventional learning and teaching techniques. Introduction of the policy at such a critical juncture is significant as it details the vision of education for future generations and will be a quintessential tool towards building a self-reliant India. Key aspects of this topic use of technology in education include primary education, professional and higher education, administration of education, adapting to artificial intelligence and other related technologies in digital India. First key aspect of this use of technology in the education is primary education. The new education policy 2020 recognizes the importance of technology in aiding teachers, bridging the language barriers between teachers and students, creating digital libraries, popularizing language learning, as well as ensuring greater access to education, specifically for differently able persons or children. It is also proposed that coding be introduced in school curriculums as an important skill that students must develop. The policy also notes that technology can be an effective tool in facilitating teacher education and encourages the utilization of technology platforms for online teacher training. Second key aspect is professional and higher education. The need to embrace technology in professional education as well as the incorporation of technology to expedite the aim of achieving 100% literacy has also been put forward in this new education policy 2020. The policy recognizes the importance of technology in addressing various societal challenges and seeks to promote interdisciplinary research and innovation. For instance, higher educational institutions have been encouraged to set up startup incubation centers and technology development centers. And a National Research Foundation, NRF, it is a new body, is also proposed to be set up to cultivate the culture of research. The policy envisages the establishment of National Education Technology Forum, NETF, another body which shall operate as a platform for free exchange of ideas and the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment planning, and administration for school and higher education. So, National Research Foundation is about to set up under this new educational policy, and it will deal the following activities: advancing core research, advancing core artificial intelligence research, and advancing international research efforts to address global challenges. The challenges include healthcare challenges, challenges in agricultural field, and the challenges related to climate change. So all these challenges will be tried to address by advancing international research efforts. And the third activity expected from this National Research Foundation is developing and deploying application-based research. And another body is about to set up under this new educational policy is NETF, National Educational Technology Forum. And the uh, uh, objectives of this NETF are advising central and state governments on the usage of technology in education, building intellectual and institutional capacities in educational technology, and articulating new directions for research and innovations. So with these aims or objectives, this NETF have been set up. And another key aspect, very, very important one, is administration of education. The creation of the academic bank of credit to digitally store academic credits earned from various higher educational institutions to facilitate the grant of degrees based on credits earned over a period of time is also a progressive step introduced by this new educational policy. We have come to know about this thing recently only from PM Narendra Modi's talk. An interesting facet of the policy is its focus on utilizing technology to ensure efficiency and transparency of regulatory bodies such as State School Standards Authority, Higher Education Commission of India, as well as its four verticals. So the four components of this Higher Education Commission of India are National Higher Education Regulatory Council, National Accreditation Council, Higher Education Grants Council, and the fourth one is General Education Council. Next key aspect is adapting to artificial intelligence. The policy recognizes challenges arising on account of the widespread use of artificial intelligence and highlights the need to adapt changes occurring on account of increased use of artificial intelligence across different sectors. It has tasked the NETF with identifying and categorizing emergent technologies based on their potential and estimated time frame for disruption, and to present a periodic analysis of the same to the MHRD, who shall then formally identify such technologies which require appropriate responses from the education system. In light of the emerging disruptive technologies, the policy is pioneering as it notes the need to generate awareness as well as conduct research on various aspects of the emerging disruptive technologies, including concerns pertaining to data handling and protection. So adoption of this emerging technology can be seen in this slide. So various emerging technologies are there, and they are considered as disruptive technologies. And those emerging and disruptive technologies are artificial intelligence, robotics, 3D animations, and simulations, and other upcoming technologies like blockchain technology and various other technologies. So all these emerging technologies will be thoroughly studied by the NETF. This NETF, it will categorize the emerging technology based on their potentials, and this will give some proposals based on its researches to the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education, in turn, it will recommend these proposals to take up further research on the identified areas to the NRF, National Research Foundation. And last key aspect is Digital India scheme. The policy calls for investment in digital infrastructure, development of online teaching platforms and tools, creation of virtual labs and digital repositories, training teachers to become high quality online content creators, designing and implementing of online assessments, establishing standards for content, technology and pedagogy for online teaching learning. The policy envisages the creation of a dedicated unit for the purpose of devising the development of digital infrastructure, digital content, and capacity building to supervise the e-education needs of both school and higher education. So, with the new education policy, so various objectives and aims have been put forward, but there are certain challenges also there. So the challenges include digital competencies of teachers to meet further need. This will be the very big challenge, as few teachers are not habituated to use this latest computers or this latest educational technology methods, so that improving the competency in all the teachers is a big challenge. And unavailability of open and public digital resources infrastructure is also another challenge, as our country is still a developing country. Many students, almost say 70%, almost 70% of the students in the country are not in a state to afford to buy a tablet or computer or laptop. So some open and public digital resources have to be set up in the country from government side. So at present, these open and public digital resource infrastructures are not available to meet the needs. And third challenge is limitation in delivering certain types of courses or subjects in online and digital space. So all types of courses and all types of subjects are not suitable for this online education or digital education. For example, in case of MBBS or medicine studies, so some aspects have to be learned in personal experiences, but not through these digital or online courses. So all types of courses cannot be taught or cannot be provided to the students by these online or digital or educational technology methods. So this is also another limitation or challenge. And online assessment on scale, especially on large scale. On small scale, assessment can be done online or digitally, but doing the same business on a large scale, it will become a hectic task. And we are seeing that we all know that recently, due to this COVID pandemic, some corporate uh, educational institutions, especially in intermediate level, some corporate colleges, they have given this what they have uh, they have this sorry. So only few teachers are engaged, and remaining teachers have been sent to home. So with these few teachers only, they are delivering online classes. So thousands of students have joined in those corporate colleges in various branches, but only few teachers are teaching all of them. But assessing all the students on a large scale, it becomes highly impossible. So the same thing will be faced in government institutions also. Assessment, doing the assessment job on a large scale is not easy task, doing it on online mode. And becoming screen-based education. Earlier, our education system was blackboard-based education. Now it is being converted into screen-based education. So all the classrooms need to be installed with these digital screens. So and adjusting to this screen-based education by the teachers also, it takes, if not a lot of time, say it requires some time. So in bridging digital divide, so this is the biggest challenge. So as many families in our country are not in a position to buy laptops or pads for their children to attend these online classes, so there is a clear digital divide among the students community in the country. So this gap should be filled by the government itself. So for that thing also, government needs to spend lot of money. So bridging the digital divide also is a big challenge. And to overcome all these challenges, so various things have to be done. So what has to be done? Suitable teacher training to prepare teachers as effective online educators. It is a very essential one. So first and foremost task and first and foremost important thing to be done is this one only. And change in pedagogy for online and digital education. So some pedagogical techniques also have to be changed. Some new curriculum also have to be, so some changes in the curriculum also have to be taken place to go for online or digital education. And online assessment in different approach. So doing the assessment on the traditional level or on the traditional notes is not suitable or possible. So some different approaches have to be invented. So our approaches should be changed in assessment and evaluation processes. And a blended approach with online and experimental or experiential learning. So we know that a person learns a lot by doing the experiments. So, but in this online education, so the task will be to the eyes only or the sensory organs, but he is not allowed to do feel the what he is learning. So, experiential learning or experimental learning plays a very important role. So, every person learns a lot by doing it on his own or by doing the experiments. So in this online and digital technology, so experiential learning has a little scope. So we have to blend these two methods, experiential learning methods and online teaching methods. Both things should be blended in suitable percentages so that students will get best of the education policy. And leverage existing platforms for creating virtual labs. So various platforms are existing. So like MOOCs and Swayam platform. So various other platforms are also there. On YouTube also, highly prestigious institutions like IITs and IIMs and some prestigious universities are also offering some online courses for even for school children also. So various digital platforms are already existing. So we have to leverage these existing platforms for creating virtual labs so that students can at least feel some get some experiential learning by participating in the activities in virtual labs. Educational programs to be made available 24/7 in different languages. So, and this is also a very important task to be done. Why? Because our country is heterogeneous in terms of different aspects, be it in languages, be it in cultures, be it in different climate conditions. So, coming to this different languages, so this new education policy also insists on the education providing in the mother tongue. So several couple of different types of languages are there in our country. So providing the education in their mother tongue is very important one. So some all the educational programs should be translated into all languages, all possible languages, so that each and every student of the country will gain the knowledge from this educational technology procedures. And availability of affordable computing devices to eliminate digital divide. So now the uh, cost of the computing devices, be it a smartphone or a small tab or a laptop or a computer, they are not affordable by many of the families in the country. So some inventions has to be done in this way, in this direction, to make the cost of these computing devices affordable for all the persons or all the families in the country. This will, to some extent, eliminate the digital divide. And optimizing and expanding existing digital platforms and ICT-based initiatives also has to be done. Providing assistive tools for monitoring progress of diverse groups of learners. So some evaluation tools also have to be provided or invented, and invest on creation of open, interruptible, evolvable, and public digital infrastructure. So some open resources, already some open courses are available on YouTube and Swayam platform and MOOCs platforms. So furthermore, there is a lot of need to provide, there is a lot of need to invest on these new open courses, and these courses should be interruptible so that the student can stop the teacher and ask the doubt whenever he gets the doubt. So interruptible, that means two-way communication should be made possible. So, and these open courses, they should be evolvable. So once after creating a course, leaving it for like that is not advisable. So every year the course modules, the course lessons or the course syllabus has to be changed. So it should be evolvable, and to decrease the or to eliminate the digital divide, the public digital infrastructure also has to be set up in each and every village of the country. And providing two-way audio and video interface for holding online classes. So this also has to be done. So some key initiatives are proposed in this new educational policy to take up the education, to take up the technological advances into the educational field. So some pilot studies on online education and creating digital infrastructures, online teaching platforms and tools, content creation and digital repository and tools, addressing the digital divide, laying down standards, blended models of learning, training and incentives for teachers, in the creation of virtual labs and online assessment and examinations. So luckily or unluckily, we can't say. So all these key initiatives were proposed in a new educational policy as a part of use of technology in education. But due to this COVID pandemic, if the COVID pandemic is not there, I think all these many of the initiatives are already taken shape, and we are going in that way. So actually, pilot studies were proposed to conduct the pilot studies, but due to this COVID pandemic, so forcefully all the teachers communities are forced to take up these online classes and digital classes. So conducting pilot studies is not required now. So likewise, digital infrastructure. So in this direction, many more to go in this direction, and online teaching platforms and tools are also being developed. So content creation, digital repository and tools are also in progress, as many of the higher educational institutions are providing new coursewares each and every year. And addressing the digital divide, it takes a lot of time to completely address this challenge. And laying down the standards, this also will take a lot of time. And blending models of different learning and teaching and learning experiences or methods. So in this also, a lot of research has to be done, and training and incentive for teachers. Unfortunately, we know that in our higher education, in our government degree colleges, 2 or 3, or I think mostly 1 week, some special classes were given by the government from commissionerate side, and most of the things were learned by the teachers on their own. So trainings, to some extent, trainings have been given, but incentives have not given. So in this direction, government also has to take some initiatives, creation of virtual labs and online assessment. So coming to online assessment also, in some colleges like our GDC Sadashivpet is using Google Forms to conduct this what internal examinations. But in some other, many of the colleges are not still using these various online assessment techniques and examination techniques. Still they are going in conventional physical examinations only. So many of our teachers are not still this what they are not used to this new technology. So a lot of training has to be given to our teaching community to make it a possibility. So this use of technology in education is a boon or a bane. So can technology replace the teacher? So some people may think that if technology is used extensively in the classrooms, then teacher roles will be decreased, but that is not true. Technology is merely an augmentation to a teacher. It can help the process of learning, but it certainly cannot replace the role of the teacher. Moreover, in order to learn critical skills like decision making, time management, etc., a child needs a teacher, as the technology cannot teach these human skills. So a human factor is also there. So some connection, some teachers are role models for the many students. So this human factor cannot be ignored. So technology can never replace the role of a teacher. So mere subject knowledge and good teaching skills are not enough in this change scenario. Acquiring technical capabilities is a must to stand in the classroom. Otherwise, we'll have to get out of the classrooms. That means we will have to lose our jobs. An ordinary teacher will become a best teacher if he or she uses technology accurately and appropriately. And a best teacher becomes an ordinary teacher if he or she fails to use the technology appropriately. So, getting acquaintance with the technology or getting habituated to using the technology in classroom teaching or in different types of teaching formats is very, very much for us. If we are not adapted to this technology, then we will have to lose our places in the classrooms and colleges. So coming to conclusion, while the policy is a novel and progressive document, acknowledging the invaluable role of technology in facilitating learning and teaching, it is essential to develop a coherent plan of action for fostering technological proficiencies to aid successful engagement with technology and its future advancements, while providing effective safeguards for data protection and data privacy. In this regard, EdTech companies are uniquely positioned to assist with the execution of various goals envisioned under this policy. It is estimated that by 2022, KG to 12th standard EdTech market in India will be worth US $1.7 billion. So we know that many edtech companies like Byju's, Topper, so like that, they are playing a big role in this K to 12 market. So the edtech companies can collaborate with educational institutions as well as develop customized online platforms or courses to increase reach among the Indian students. The policy also presents a significant opportunity for cooperation between the various industry stakeholders and regulatory authorities and our educational institutions. In this regard, the Internet Mobile Association In this regard, the Internet and Mobile Association of India has recommended a partnership between the EdTech industry and the NETF, which will help streamline research and enable the NETF to adopt industry-led best practices. The success of the policy will be contingent on the means and modes of its implementation, as well as the ability to effectively integrate the objectives of the policy within existing initiatives and engaging the relevant stakeholders in the effective delivery of the policy. The policy is mindful that education in the future will involve greater dematerialization and digitalization of content. So finally, the human element of education cannot be overlooked, and technology can be used only as an auxiliary tool to amplify the learning experience. It is also pertinent to access the way technology is used, processed, transferred, stored, and necessary safeguards be built in to protect the privacy of the users and protect against the data thefts. With this, I conclude. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Okay. Well said, Mahesh Garu. I congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
When teachers effectively integrate technology into subject areas, teachers grow into roles of advisor, content expert, and coach. Technology helps make teaching and learning more meaningful and fun. Students are also able to collaborate with their own classmates through technological applications. Okay?
Yes, sir.
This is the last of our 7 webinars. Congratulations to all the conveners who have managed the webinars so well these days. For this webinar, I invite Dr. D. Karnakar. Please express your opinion.
Good afternoon, sir. In the series of webinars, today the last webinar, last but late latest information in the topic use of technology in education. Sir expressed the details, key aspects in different levels, primary education, higher education, and research. Especially, I feel this technology will help enhance the interdisciplinary research, no doubt. And Sir explained the challenges and way to forward the technology given in very wonderful manner. Sir, I express sincere thanks to you for giving the information regarding the technology. I express thanks to the principal, Dr. T. Patanjali Garu, for his cooperation, constant cooperation and encouragement towards conducting these webinars from the last 10 days. I express thanks to the staff to participate and encourage the organizing this type of webinars and the students. And I express those who are directly, indirectly helpful to arrange, make success this webinars. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other opinion?
Sir, this is, I think, this is the first step, initiation in this academic year. Based on this, we will conduct more and more. These are very much helpful to
sir,
organizing webinars. Okay.
We will continue, sir. No doubt. Any other opinion? I invite. Yes, Miss Anuradha garu.
90 seconds only left, sir.
Only 90 seconds. Please render vote of thanks, Anuradha garu.
I would
Only
like
80
to.
seconds.
Hello?
Only 80 seconds. Please render vote of thanks.
I would like to express my gratitude to the today's webinar conductor, Mahesh sir, for successfully conduction of the webinar and successfully delivering the knowledgeable speech on the online teaching, and is it useful for otherwise is it a bane for the nowadays education system? And I also congratulate Dr. T. Patanjali Garu, Principal, Government Degree College, Sadashivpet, for conducting webinar series successfully. All the teaching and non-teaching staff and students for successfully attending with patient very much. Thank you all.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Ma Vidishavahe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.